thing to the music?
I like kind of forgot where the thing was. It was kind of crazy.
Were you hitting the keyboards? It was like,
No, no, no.
Okay.
I was normally I turn it down right when it switches, but for some
That's what
reason
happened.
I switched over to the wrong thing. But anyways, welcome back to the Breaker Bros. Tonight we're gonna, I guess, predict the Bengals versus Panthers. But I guess before we start, we didn't really have a
Yes.
reaction, and I figured,
Yeah.
is
We
there
should have
anything?
had a reaction because I was not happy.
Well, I think there was a lot of disappointment, especially from my perspective, and it was just almost to the point where, like, man, it's like you spend 3 hours or so, watching the game, and you invest a lot of energy, and it's like when they lose, I don't know. It sounds kind of petty, but it's just like I didn't want to give them any more time. I was like, I'd just rather hang out with my family. You know what I mean? Like, I just felt like I wanted to get that out of that state of mind. But
hmm hmm
but
Well, my family had gone to bed, or actually, no. Like my family that was awake was pissed off about the game too. But we all just were upset in our own individual ways.
well, yeah, I guess you're right. I thinking back, it was Monday night, so. But I guess my point was like I just didn't want to waste time on the Bengals, if that makes sense.
No, I understand. It gets
It's like,
frustrating.
yeah, but at the same time, like having a few days to think about it. I know 0-3 is pretty tough, and
hmm
but I also feel like with this 17 game season,
Uh huh.
it's a long season, so a lot can happen from here on out.
Yeah.
And just looking around the league, a lot of key players are starting to get hurt, and I feel like it's more. I mean, I guess it's always been like this with football. If you think about it, it's just a very violent game. You should
Right.
expect players to miss, 2 or 3 games here and there. Like it's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's just how you deal with it. So, yeah. So I know a lot can happen, but I guess the best thing that the Bengals can do, or anyone can do, is just focus on what's ahead, and I guess that's the Panthers. So, do you feel confident about this game, or
No, not at all.
yeah?
Not at all.
Which is understandable because I feel like the Bengals as a whole haven't really shown that they can be consistent.
You cannot win football games if you can't stop people from running between the tackles.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if there's a good way to look up stats on that, but like I feel like you run it between the tackles against the Bengals, you're going to average 5 or 6 yards. And
Try not to say that out loud.
I think people figure that part out.
Yeah, no, I
I mean,
obviously.
I don't want to sound like petty and put down Jaden Daniels or anything. So take that part out of it. It's just much easier to play call and to be a play quarterback when on every first down you can get 5 yards just by running in between the tackles. And it's just the Commanders football team skins were like consistently like 2nd and 5, 2nd and 4, and like 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3. I mean, it just felt like the whole game they had 3rd and short, and then it got really bad because the Bengals couldn't stop the run playing straight up. So then they started doing all kinds of, zero blitzes and this kind of stuff just to stop the most, basic play that you run like in football, right? Just run it off tackle.
There was a crazy statistic where I saw it on Twitter, but it was like from like those official websites, but nonetheless, it was like the Bengals were in the top 5 in terms of like getting in contact with the person with the ball,
Mm-hmm.
but they were like bottom 5 in yards after contact, and it's like it really a lot of it just comes down to really poor tackling because it's like a lot of times there's someone there, but they just don't get the tackle. So it's like
Yeah, but I mean, it would be the thing that's scary for the Bengals season is that the starting tackles are, you know, like I know during the preseason I said I like Jay Tufele and I wanted him to make the team because I think he's a good depth piece, but the fact that he's starting, you know, is really testing their depth, and it doesn't give me much optimism because, like, I think it just might be a talent level issue. You know, you can't be running out backups at a position that isn't a position of strength to begin with, and the results look bad. So
I think
it's just
the promising thing is Chris Jenkins. I think is going to start playing a little bit more and more, and I think he showed some pretty good signs of stopping the run a little bit. It seems like
I don't see it. I mean, maybe when we look at the PFF stats, it'll say. I just thought that I mean, they didn't get a single stop.
Let's look at it now if you want the PFF stuff because I am kind of interested to see how he graded out Jenkins, but I mean, I will jump on the table for McKinley Jackson. Like I'm going to be worried if he's going to be out for more than the 4 weeks. Like, say if it's going to be like a 6 to 8 week thing, that would suck.
Mm-hmm.
But if we can actually get him back in week 5, which I think is a very pivotal week because it's going to be against the Ravens. It's like, if anything, they have to have a strong record within the division if they want to have any chance of making the playoffs, which again, that's way too far away from now. But the saving grace could be just having a really strong divisional record.
Well, it looks like they graded out Lawrence Guy and Chris Jenkins is pretty high. I mean, they're giving them 69 and 75.
Well, I mean, if you look at it closer, right?
Listed as good run defenders.
Like, in a vacuum right now, it looks pretty bad because some of our key players are good. But let's say if we had a good rotation with Jenkins, Guy, Shelton, and Hill, because I think part of the problem is Rankins and Hill have to play way too much.
Yeah, but they're both hurt, right?
Right now they are, but eventually going to come back. They're going to be back sooner than later. You know what I mean? It's not going to be like a whole year thing. I'm just saying, just think about this. Just hear me out. So
I'm thinking about it.
Right now it sucks because right. It's like Tufele, if you got rely on him as a starter, we see what happens. That now we understand why, he was originally cut. We picked him up. He plays decent in specific roles, but he's not like your long-term solution, right? But what I'm saying is, and I'm not even saying Guy. I like when we picked him up, and from what I heard about him, I was like, what we said before is like I wouldn't be surprised if he just sticks with the team the rest of the year because if he's a solid depth piece that you can rotate in, get those people that need a little bit more rest, like Rankins and Hill, because I feel like they were kind of overplayed, or maybe I'm misremembering things, but I just felt like maybe that's part of the reason why they're struggling.
Part of the reason why they were overplayed is because they couldn't get off the field.
So but hear me out. But then what if McKinley Jackson comes back, right, or comes in and he plays kind of like the way we thought he would, right? And even going into the season, or at least me, I was still more excited about Jackson than I was about Jenkins. And now when I got to know a little bit more about Jenkins, I got more excited, but I was still a little bit more because I don't know, when we watched the film of McKinley Jackson, it looked good. I was like, man, this guy could be, I don't know. It was just weird. He just had something to him.
I like him, and I don't want to be too critical of Chris Jenkins, but
well, his run defense is 71. That's pretty good. I mean,
but
and he's the rookie. Like that's the crazy part. And don't get me wrong.
The best rated tackle is Lawrence Guy. So
yeah, but how many snaps did he? Does it say 17?
Yeah, it looks like
Okay,
it.
yeah, I mean that's a good. And Jenkins had 24. Yeah, so I mean that's a pretty good sample size. I mean that's not.
Yeah, but I guess I mean, they didn't get a single stop. It's just insane. They didn't
Yeah,
punt.
the crazy
I've
thing about me
never. I
was
mean,
seeing.
I remember seeing that. Even
Well,
like when the Bengals were bad, like real bad, and they're playing against like Steelers Super Bowl teams. I still remember at least a punt or two.
I think there was like twice where they went on the fourth down and they converted, and it was just like it was kind of frustrating because they could have stopped it. Yeah, I mean, really,
I
it comes
mean,
down to
but
if
at
the
the same
Bengals had one
time,
stop
it's
on defense, they would have won that game.
if you're garbage at stopping the run up the middle, teams are going to feel really bold about going for it on fourth down because they know that you can't line up and stop it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you add to the fact that you've got a really athletic quarterback.
Well, let's look at their
who's
offensive line.
playing well.
Carolina's offensive line, their grades.
Okay.
Actually, I think Carolina's offensive line is actually pretty decent.
Yeah.
48 looks pretty crappy though.
Yeah, I don't know what the story is on this guy.
Is he a backup maybe?
Chandler Zavala. It looks like he's a pass block guy, not very good at the run. According to this.
But 77, 66, 65, 68, 8. That's now.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like their strength is right up the middle.
Well, yeah, it's like right center. But 68, can you click on the left tackle? Because that's going to be always a key matchup. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I remember him getting drafted early.
Yeah. 76. No, it's 68. But he's got that's run.
68 overall and 76 in the run.
See, that's going to be the tricky part. I noticed, like, when you know it's like going to be a run, they usually take Hendrickson out.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, if it's a passing play, he's going to have the advantage. So, what's our running backs rated? I feel like Chase should be pretty good. I saw that he had like the highest run per carry, or tied, or something like that.
They got Moss. Let's see. I guess we can just go position. Yeah, they like Chase Brown a lot.
Was he?
As do we.
Well, yeah. 78. Okay.
87.4 run grade. It's pretty good.
Well, yeah, because like I said, his yards per carry is pretty damn good right now. It's like 7.1. It's kind of weird that it takes you to like a completely different screen.
Yeah.
Or it's like not tied to what you were looking at. I'm gonna have to send a letter to Chris Collinsworth.
Regular and post. Okay. Okay.
Rushing.
Oh, maybe just look at rushing.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't know why the table is so hard to read. You know what I mean?
Maybe it's more like designed for a cell phone than a computer.
Okay.
could be wrong, but I feel like it was 7.1 or it's like 7 something per carry.
7.4 maybe.
Yeah.
Is that possible? Oh yeah, because it's so yeah, 8.9 yards a carry against Washington. 7.8 against Kansas City. Is that possible?
Yeah. I think wasn't he the one with fumbling problems in college, or am I thinking of
Yeah.
something else?
No, that was him.
I think that's it. I think that's maybe the biggest concern. He's got to like prove that he can hold on to the ball. Like, and we
Mhm.
and the Bengals have been in a lot of close games or in situations where
Yeah, so I always look at pass blocking. If you see somebody that's not playing, I feel like, yeah. So his pass blocking's bad.
yeah, no, I mean you definitely wouldn't put him in there. Like, yeah, it just wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, but I mean that to me, if you've got a guy that's like producing running the ball, then you suspect that maybe he's not holding up blocking. So last year they gave him a poor pass blocking grade. 26.7 for the year.
Yeah, but I mean, like for me, it's like you're either gonna have him run the ball or run to the flats or something. Have like a
Yeah, but
quick.
it really limits you on offense to have a guy that can't block at running back.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's not going to be like a 3 down running back like that. I don't think that was ever the case for him. I guess, I mean, if he can develop his blocking, he might have a chance, but
Yeah, see, so the pass block for Zach Moss, they have a 68.
and his run grade is not terrible, I don't think.
Yeah, well, that's what it
72's.
is, man. You got to keep Burrow healthy.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Well,
that's why Moss is getting way more snaps. He can be trusted with the blocking. And really, offense isn't really the problem, right? The problem is on the defensive side of the ball.
I would agree.
So
I mean, the first week was shaky all around. It seemed like they were almost a little shell shocked. It was just, I'm convinced they go maybe a little bit too easy going into the season. And it's funny because I just feel like some of the more physical teams usually benefit, and I feel like that's why the Steelers consistently like start off at the season well. You know what I mean? Like it always feels like they always start off well.
Yeah, I mean the safeties are not grading out well, and I mean
their defensive line looks terrible.
Yeah, I mean you got Hubbard that's got 98th out of 105 edge guys, Tufele's 106 out of 117, and Carter's 95 out of 117.
Yeah, it's just weird. Like if we can get Hubbard to play normal, like even that in itself would be a big boost. But yeah, I did hear that he's pretty much having a pretty horrible season. He's like graded the lowest.
They have him rated 46.1.
But supposedly he's dealing through a hamstring issue.
Really?
Or something. That's what they
That's
just said.
Weird.
Yeah.
Weren't we just talking about the Bengals training staff? Or no, that was just me. Everybody else says they're great. I'm just like, the entire defensive line has hamstring issues. That's scary.
See, it's funny how they have this screen up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like a traditional 4-3. And I feel like that might. Oh, wait, hold on. Who's the 85?
Davis Gaither.
Yeah. I feel like they should do that a little bit more.
I don't know, man. It seems like they should do something to limit the issues here. So,
right.
I mean, if you play another linebacker, I mean, I guess you're a little bit more stout against the run, but you take off a corner. I mean,
yeah, but I mean, if they're getting toasted anyways, maybe, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like you have more stability.
Yeah. But I feel like nickel is more their base defense, but
No, it
just,
is. That's what I'm saying. Like, I
yeah.
feel like they
But
need to play a
they've
little
got
bit more
Osai
4-3.
as 96 out of 105 at the edge. It's just, oof.
Oh, I forgot to say, yeah, and that's another thing. Like, I don't know if you can look at his grades last year, but you
It
know,
says right there he was a 68.4 last year.
no. I'm talking about the other defensive end. I can't think of his name right now. He's on. He might be back in the 5th week as well.
Miles Murphy.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a boost.
Sheesh.
I feel like he graded out pretty good towards the end of the season last year.
Yeah. Well, we can look him up. Here, let's see here.
And then from what I understood, he was looking good going into this season. Like they said, he looked powerful.
Well, he should be.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, not so great at the end of the year. He had a couple of good games according to this ranking.
yeah, I mean, he had a pretty good stretch there from looks like the Steelers through the Vikings.
Yeah, well,
And then
except for
kinda-
this game.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah, but even at that number, he'd be an upgrade over what the grades are so far this year.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if we can just get them to play like just their normal selves, that'd be a big boost. But yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
I feel like so they said Henry has 11 snaps. Okay, so he is starting to play a little bit, but he might get more playing time. Even Cedric Johnson. I mean, you might as well. It can't hurt.
I mean, they're not playing worse than the guys getting more snaps. But I mean, like, look at the rank. I mean, it's just like 96 and 98. And then we got 21.
Yeah. Well, grades aside,
Yes.
your feeling about going against the Panthers, and I guess just having a little bit of knowledge of just the grades that we saw.
Mm-hmm.
What are you thinking about this game?
I think it's going to be like Groundhog's Day. I think they're going to run the ball up the middle. And then when the Bengals overcommit to running up the middle, they're going to hit passes. Man.
Yeah, to me, what it comes down to, if they can just learn how to tackle the first time, they're going to win the game. Like, thinking about the offense with the injury to Brown, Mims comes in, and it's almost like an upgrade. And I feel like from the Bengals perspective, I think the formula is the tight ends. I feel like, and then have those key runs where maybe you give it to Brown or Chase Brown a little bit more. But I think the tight ends is what's going to open up Higgins and Chase for the deep ball as far as receiving. And like, because when you're talking about the running back and kind of being predictable, especially when Chase Brown is in the game, I think the tight ends kind of flipped that from last year. You remember? Because like we knew base if Sample was in versus if it was Tanner Hudson, we would pretty much know if it was going to be a run or a pass, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think our tight ends now, because they're a little bit more versatile, you can kind of disguise things. And I think a lot of it has to do with Eric All. And that's what I'm saying. Like with All and Kaseki, I feel like we can expose to certain things, and that's what's really going to open the top or the deep ball for the receivers.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, it's weird because especially with being 0-3 and I guess our pass with Andy Dalton, I would be kind of like, I don't know, I'd be kind of hesitant, but I don't know. I guess I have a weird confidence about this game,
Mm-hmm.
but it could just be me being overly optimistic. But I don't know. I feel like this is going to be a good game, and I just hope the defense plays with a little bit more intensity, and like I said, just get the tackle the first time, and I think that wins the game because I don't expect the offense to be as efficient as they were last game. I mean, obviously, maybe they could have had more red zone touchdowns. I guess as the one criticism you could have for Burrow, which I think is kind of insane. But yeah, it's kind of crazy because I don't think the Bengals had to punt once, or they didn't have any turnovers. It's kind of crazy.
Well, yeah, I mean, unless you count the missed field goal as a turnover.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not really. I guess it's like a turnover on downs. Or no, it is a turnover on downs, right?
Yeah, and then you give the other team really good field position typically, and then it kind of kills the momentum. That was another thing with the game last week. Going into the second half, they're hoping, they want to do something, and they give up that big kick return.
Yeah. Yeah, that was really a flat way to come out.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm not worried about the offense. And like I said, I don't expect them to be as efficient as they were last week, but I do expect them to play good because I feel like they kind of shown that, they can kind of carry the team to a certain extent, but it's weird. It's like I don't want to put it all in the defense.
Why?
But
why?
Because it's a team game. It's not just like
one-sided,
but
the defense has to get a stop. I mean, the way they played against Washington was terrible, inexcusable. How bad it was.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just, I mean, you can't beat anybody if you play like that. So that's how I feel. Because I mean, it's 3 games of it, and to me, that's just who they are. Until they start getting some players back. Something's got to happen, right?
Yeah.
I mean, who's going to fix it? Can Chris Jenkins play double the snaps, and is that enough to make it better? Can Larry Guy play? Like, are those two going to start now?
Well, I think there are certain players that you can rotate in a little bit more and kind of fill in the gaps until people get a little bit more healthy. Because I don't think the tackles that are starting now are going to be our future tackles. They're just going to be good depth pieces that can rotate in a little bit more than what we've had currently.
I don't even know. It's just like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird.
I mean, good depth pieces are supposed to be like serviceable. I mean, if you're not getting stops.
I think picking up Guy was a pretty solid pickup.
He's
acquisition.
He was one of the few players that played decent. Of course, it was a good pickup.
Well, no, because he specifically is just a run stopper. Like you don't really want.
Is it enough? I mean, he didn't. Play
I
enough.
do because he's going to be your. Wait, hold on. Let me think about this. Yeah. He'll basically be your 5th defensive tackle once everyone's healthy.
Yeah, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about Sunday.
Right. Okay. I get what you're saying.
So you're optimistic about Sunday.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you think's gonna happen?
I think the Bengals are going to shock everyone. Not really shock everyone. It's really not that big of a deal. I think maybe they go bigger
Uh-huh.
interior, kind
Uh-huh.
of to what your point is. I know right now I think they only technically have 4 defensive tackles on the roster, or starting or playable defensive tackles on the roster. Um, so I think they'll actually bring up that guy from Dallas, that defensive tackle.
You think they're going to bring up a guy?
Yeah, you can. You, I don't know the technical term, but they can basically sub in one of the practice squad guys.
Yeah, but wouldn't they have said that already?
I don't think they have to announce it until Saturday.
Okay. Okay.
Because isn't that what happened with Dominic Davis last Saturday? Or did they announce that Friday?
I
I feel
don't
like they
know.
said that on Saturday.
Did he? He didn't play.
Usually when they call him up, they don't sit him.
I don't think he played. He didn't come up in any of the defense interiors. We looked at all their players' ratings.
Yeah, maybe he didn't play any snaps. You could be right, but I think he might have been like,
Active.
yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I think they'll bring up the other guy, see what he's got. But that's just for now. But I think they'll have enough and do just enough to stop the run. I still think they'll get a decent amount of yards, but I just don't think it would be what we're accustomed to seeing. I think they're going to turn it around. I also think they'll come up with a few turnovers. I don't know. I don't like to really get too detailed with the predictions, but I don't know. I just have a weird feeling like we're kind of going to get the Dalton that we kind of seen with the Bengals here and there. You know, like I know he had a really good game, and I think he's a really good quarterback, but I always felt like he's had those weird games, you know, where he just threw up kind of like duds
Mm-hmm.
and have like really unnecessary turnovers.
Mm-hmm.
I think Hendrickson's going to be a big key. I don't know. I would like to see him blitz more. I feel like that was the one thing I wish they would have done a little bit more against Daniels.
Didn't work.
Well, they didn't really try to blitz at all. I
They
didn't
blitzed
feel
a
like.
few times.
Yeah, but I feel like they had to blitz more because I feel like when they start to blitz, huh?
It didn't work.
Yeah, but not
They
blitzing
gave up that. They
didn't
gave
work.
up that ridiculous
Worse.
touchdown on a blitz. I mean, it's just
Yeah,
like,
but that was just like a really good play on their part. Like you can't expect them to keep doing that. Like when you're under duress consistently, you're gonna mess up, or even worse.
yeah. But most of the blitzes didn't get that close to getting home. That was like one of the few that almost got home.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It looked good, and then he just had a really good pass, and it was a really good catch. And I felt like Dax, like he kind of gave a little bit of ground. He got a little bit burnt initially, but he made it up pretty good towards the end. And I just felt like he dove too soon. And I know it's tough for like the cornerback just based off the angles and where he's looking at. Like it's hard; you can't really see where the ball is. But if he would have just like would have waited a half a second, then extended his arms, he probably could have batted the ball down, or at least had his hand.
The thing that I don't understand about how corners play, just in general, is when you're on the sideline or towards the back of the end zone, near a boundary, why do they play the ball? You know?
What do you mean?
Like if it's a jump ball,
well, that's the
just
thing.
Let the guy catch it and just don't let him touch the ground.
Well, when they showed the
bounds.
replay, it was like a stutter and go. So like he kind of bit.
I'm saying like when the ball's in the air, maybe not.
Yeah, but he
necessarily
doesn't.
on that play.
When you're a corner and you're trying to make up ground, I don't think you really know where the ball is.
That's what I'm saying. Don't play the ball. Play the man. Don't jump.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Wait for the receiver to jump, and then when he jumps, grab his hips or his waist or his legs and hold it, and then try to push him out of bounds. You know, because if he's in the air, it's especially if he's along the sideline, it's easy to get him to go out of bounds. Because he's up playing the ball. Let him touch the ball.
I feel like they used to teach us all the time back in the day, but they used to teach like DBs to rip their hands. So like in that case, like if he would have just waited for when he caught the ball and then grabbed his arm and rip it.
No, I'm saying that's what I'm saying. Don't try to play the ball. Literally, just don't let the 2 feet touch the ground.
Right. Yeah.
Inbounds.
I'm just adding
like
to
catch
what you're
him in
saying.
the air
Like
and take a step to the right.
that's what I was saying. Like he didn't get burnt necessarily that bad. It was just a really good placement of the ball and a pass and obviously a catch. But if he would have timed up a little bit better and actually played to where his arms were and to me, that's what you got to focus on, especially if they happen to catch the ball and you're a little bit beat. As soon as they grab the ball, like to your point, just play the person. You got to rip their hands, and because it's really hard to hold onto the ball,
concede the catch. They're so close to being out of bounds, and they're in the air, so they're not even no part of their body's touching the ground when they touch the ball. So just either two-hand shove them out of bounds or like just catch their legs and give it a quick toss out of bounds.
Okay, well, the thing I'll say about this, and what I'll recognize is that what we're saying in theory sounds easy, but in real life and how fast they're playing and all that, it's really difficult to do. But
no, I disagree. I think it's way easier on certain passes. If there's like a jump ball on the sideline or on the back line,
I don't think so, because if you don't know where the ball is, it's hard. It's hard to know when someone's going to catch the ball until you actually see him catch it. And it's like, even when you see him catch it, you got to react. So like you got to, when you react, you got to make sure, like a lot of times they're probably going to get their feet or whatever in bounds, but what you know is that they're probably going to go to the ground, right? In most cases. So if they are going to the ground, they got to maintain the catch. So like one of the things you got to focus on is like where their hands are and where the ball is, and just rip it. Because when you're doing that while they're simultaneously falling to the ground, a lot of times the ball's going to pop out because it's just the momentum. Yeah, it's like it's really hard
between shoving them out of bounds. You still got to maintain the catch going to the ground. So just
right, but when you're shoving, like I mean, if you're specifically shoving where the ball is, I feel like that's key. My point is that you gotta disrupt where they're catching the ball, because when they hit that ground and feel that bounce, it's gonna pop it out.
It doesn't matter if they catch the ball if their feet touch out of bounds. So just
I guess my point to that is it's hard to do that because you don't know where the ball is.
You don't need to know where the ball is. You know where the guy is.
Right, but if you do it too early, it's pass or interference.
No, it's not. I mean, yes, it is, but
it's not if you're the Chiefs. But
yeah, but I'm just saying, like,
my point is, if you don't because you got to react to what they're doing. So in most cases, they're probably going to get their feet in. That's my point.
No, that's what I'm saying. If you don't jump, their feet aren't. If you don't jump and you just stay low and kind of either body them out of bounds or two-hand shove them out of bounds, or play with the specific intent that they don't land in bounds, but you are on your feet. You have so much more leverage.
I feel like if you're in a position where it's like kind of like a goal line play where you can kind of sit at the back of the end zone and you can physically see where the ball is and when it's being thrown, I say, hell yeah, push them out, because you can time that up. But in a situation where your back is turned and you're literally facing someone,
yes,
you don't know where that ball is, especially when you're wearing a helmet. Like when you know where the ball is when you actually see him catch it.
No,
I just feel like
wait, no. That's not true.
How's it not true?
They jump. That's your clue that the ball's coming.
Yeah, but even if they jump and you push them just because they jump, that's still pass interference. It's not pass interference until they actually touch the ball.
I know, but I'm just saying the timing is you get a lot of hints as to timing. Plus you get a little sound. I'm saying it's to me, it's easier than trying to locate the ball and touch it.
No.
Because if you try to play the ball, you have to jump too and turn your head and swipe at it.
No.
Whereas if you're just playing,
I'm not saying
staying on the ground,
trying to do a 360. What I'm saying is when you see them catch it, like you're facing the receiver, right? Because they kind of got you
necessarily.
Well,
I'm just saying, don't leave your feet. If you see the receiver jump, don't leave your feet and try to time it up so that he touches it, and then you just don't let him touch the ground in bounds.
To the situation that we're talking about, that
wasn't so. That was just a freak play. He was behind.
It was, but what I'm saying is, like, if he would have focused on just like once, as soon as he saw it catching, because like I feel like he was
burned. He had a step or two on him.
Yeah. No,
the whole
I get
time.
that. But if you rewatch the play, he jumps kind of early and he kind of, I think,
That's my
did what you
point.
were
Don't
trying to do.
jump.
I think he was kind of doing what you were trying to do, was like kind of like
No,
push him
because he
out.
jumped.
No, he dove into his hip like he was trying to knock him out of bounds. And I'm saying like he would have been better off as soon as he saw him like actually catch the ball, kind of do the same thing, but then grab the ball and rip as you're going to the ground, because
I
you're
thought he was
most
too
likely
far
going to
away
pop it
to
up.
touch the ball. But in any event,
He was on him when he caught the ball. It wasn't like
that
he
isn't
was.
the specific type of play I'm talking about.
I think in
more
most
about
cases,
just
if you know that the receiver has a jump on you or whatever, go for the ball after they catch it while you're going to the ground. You're going to be able to knock it out in most cases.
what the fundamental aspect of what I'm trying to communicate is, if you're along the sideline or in the end zone near the back, and the receiver jumps and your corner, don't jump. Stay on your feet. And then you have the opportunity to just let him catch it and then push him out of bounds so he doesn't land inbounds.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying.
And
I'm saying they
okay,
like try
I can
to
see that
jump
point. I
and like
see what you're saying. Okay,
it's just like, just don't leave your feet, because they got to come back down to touch the ground.
I got
So
you.
if you're on your feet, you have
could
more
probably
power.
literally hold him up in the air.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you
just
could
catch
probably
him.
walk him out of the end zone, right? And that's
Yeah.
not a touchdown, right?
Right,
You could
exactly.
totally. It's like
that's my point. That's
isn't
what I'm
that
trying to say.
Dirty Dancing
Yeah,
moment. Like where
exactly.
yeah, you can do
yeah.
whatever his name was.
Nobody puts baby in the corner
Yeah.
of the end zone. You put baby out of the end zone, right? Or out
Maybe
of the
you should
sideline.
just have like a defensive tackle just sitting back there. That way, when the receiver goes up, you have the one guy initiate it, and then for sure the
Yeah.
defensive tackle could hold up the receiver and run him out
Yeah,
to
I'm
the
just
other end
saying.
zone.
But the thing about it is, you don't even have to lift the full person up. All you have to do is get one leg out of bounds, right? I'm just saying.
I see what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying. Because you feel them jump up on you, so you know that they're going to catch the ball soon. So on their way down,
But
just
I will
catch 'em and then
say,
hit.
back to the play that we're talking about, even though
Yeah.
I kind of feel like we're kind of going too long on this. He kind of slid when he caught it, though. So it wasn't like he jumped in the air.
No, I don't think it would have worked in that instance.
Yeah.
He
But
was-
nonetheless,
he was
it
too
sucked.
burned. He was too far away from the receiver to really do much.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it was just,
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough when you get beat off because he did like I said, a little like a stutter and go.
Yeah, but
And
it's,
right
but that's what I mean. That to me is more, the Bengals were just getting beaten fundamentally. So
Yeah.
then they had to play like unsound defense, and then they were kind of panicky and like running around like chickens with their heads cut off, and
Yeah,
everybody was just kind of like freaking out, right, and not playing with their heads. And like when you take risks like that, I feel like, you put yourself in a position to get smoked. And it's like at that point in the game, it's just like the guy was like, what, 90% passing? I mean, like he's not worried.
yeah, in maybe they were kind of in a situation where they were doubling down on the run and they knew they had a one-on-one situation, and we got beat.
Mm-hmm. So, prediction, score, winner.
Yeah, I feel like the Bengals just continue to do what they're doing on offense.
Mm-hmm.
Work those tight ends to open other things, and then as far as like the deep passes, and then give Chase Brown the ball a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Just keep up with those explosive plays, and then just continue and on defense, just actually tackle. I think it's just simple as that. Just tackle
Mm-hmm.
people. I think they'll be fine. I think they will have an opportunity to control this game. And like I said, I do expect I feel like there's going to be a few turnovers. So I'm going to say Bengals 28, Carolina 15.
Okay. I'm going. It's a copycat league. Expect a lot of Chuba Hubbard straight up the gut. So I'm going 31, 27, Carolina. Win. I just think that there's way too much pressure on the offense. They have zero margin for error, and it's going to get to them like it did last week.
Yeah, I mean that's a fair I guess assessment, but I don't know. I just feel like there was moments where they had a chance to really take control of the game.
Yeah, but the thing to consider is that Chuba Hubbard, I think, and I guess we have the ability to look it up, but I think he's one of the harder running backs to tackle.
I think technically that was what's his face from the first week.
No, he is not.
Well, no. Yeah, he is. The guy from the Patriots?
Yeah, Ramondre Stevenson is not hard to tackle.
I don't know. I think he's top 5. I would say for sure Chubb when he comes back. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if this guy is too.
I don't know how you rate that after contact.
Yeah, it would have to be yards after contact. That would be the only way to really measure it, right?
Yeah, there used to be. I thought there was like a way to rank it.
Can't you just do that for the whole league? Like all the running backs through the NFL?
Rushing? Yeah, I'm sure there's a way to do it. Well, we got 23. Let's look at 24. And then, this is by player. So if I go to by position,
there you go.
And then go by.
There you go, rushing.
Okay. And then. Oh, Chase Brown, number 2. There you go.
Wait, is this actually? Is this by Yak?
This is just run.
Oh, okay.
Whatever run means. After contact. There you go. This must be yards. What is this? I can't even see what it is. Key. Let's look at that. Yards after contact. Yards after contact per attempt. Oh, missed tackles. MTF. That's probably the one we want. So yards after contact.
Are you sure that's not like a juke?
What?
Missed tackle?
I don't know. It just says MTF. Missed tackles forced after a rush.
Do you think that you mean that means break tackle?
I don't know what it means. But I'm saying maybe we could look at that too.
Okay.
Okay, so Chuba Hubbard here, he's 8th in yards after contact per attempt.
Okay.
Ramondre Stevenson is 12th, but mostly I think because he played the Bengals. Because I think...
Well, okay, what was his 23 then? Let's just look at a full year.
I think his yards after contact per attempt against the Bengals was 4.72, and his yards after contact in the game was 118.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. And then you look at the rest of the season, and it was like 2.48, 2.67. Like, this was the outlier, right? And then if I go back, does it disappear? No. Who do the Bengals play week 2?
That was the Chiefs.
Who is their running back? Oh, the Chiefs.
He got hurt.
I know.
But I don't think his yards per carry was that great.
Isaiah Pacheco. Yeah, that was 2.42. That was a much better game. But okay, so if you go by yards after contact per attempt, Chuba Hubbard's at 8. Brian Robinson, that's who the Bengals played last week, is 7. I wonder why. Okay, he had a much better game against New York Giants than he did against the Bengals. But then if we could look at
because against the Bengals he only had 1.6, right?
Yeah. So missed tackles forced.
Oh my gosh. Oh no.
Guy Ramondre Stevenson.
Oh no.
What? There's Chuba Hubbard.
Hope that doesn't mean that he's tough to tackle.
It was all in week 1, dude.
No, it wasn't.
He had 10 against the Bengals.
Well, he's got 9 in week 2.
It was 3 in week 2.
Oh, okay. It looks like 9 to me.
Oh, yeah. No, it's 3. Let me zoom in. Zoop.
Yeah. Whoa.
3, 2.
Well, whatever it was before that would look pretty good, but okay.
So he has 15, but 10 against the Bengals. So say he averaged 3, had 7 more against the Bengals than he did on average, like 7 more than he would have averaged, right? But then you look at, like, okay, he had 10 against the Bengals. $15 for the year. And, like, the other leaders are, like, at 10. I'm just saying. That's just my gut feel on it. I'm not saying it's...
Well, we'll see how
We'll see how it plays out, right?
How Chuba Hubbard does. Chuba, however you say it.
I don't know how you're supposed to say it. I say Chuba.
I don't know either. No disrespect. You just don't know.
Well, I'm sure we'll figure it out after Monday because we'll probably hear it a little bit. Also, special shout out. Did you hear about Al Michaels like going off on the refs during the Thursday night game?
No, I didn't because I don't really listen to announcers.
Oh, did you watch the game?
Wait, when was it?
Thursday.
Oh, no, I didn't. I didn't watch the game at all, actually.
I wonder if... Okay, so during the game, he was said, it looks like June 14th here, otherwise known as Flag Day, as you know. And then he goes, we got another flag. You have 2 more flags in the backfield. No more laundry left. Any number of calls coming your way. Oh, here you go. Beside the fact that the game was completely rhythmless because of what's been going on with the flags, what do you make of the first half? Is that Herb Street said that? Oh, no. Al Michaels asked Kirk Herb Street. The flag is down amazingly for the first of the quarter. Yeah. So I thought it was funny because I think I can't remember if it was our previous stream where I said that, where I was talking about how like the NFL is like ruining their game because there's just too many flags, regardless of what's in the rules or what's not in the rules. You got to come up with rules that makes the game watchable. But like if you have, I don't know, man. People that gamble on the NFL, man, I don't know how you could do that. I mean, it's just like so many penalties.
It really is.
And like with like the Kansas City stuff, like did you see the play in the Falcons game?
Oh wait, like you mean in the end zone? Yeah.
Yeah, where they didn't call that pass interference.
Yeah. It was 1 week later. That's like the crazy
weird.
part.
If there was only a way to pick up a pattern.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's just funny because like Chiefs fans were like clear passer interference. When you watch it from a different angle, you kind of get a different view. You're like, I don't know. I don't think it was clear.
Mm-hmm.
but then
how do you reconcile that with,
But but theirs was definitely clear because he wasn't even looking at the ball or anything. He just
he like
tackled
just two hands, shoved him in the chest.
Yeah.
Which, hey, would be the technique I would do. So.
But after they catch the ball.
Well, if you can get away with it, it's just a good play, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anything else you want to add to this game?
No.
All right. Peace.